What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another WNBA video. We have ourselves a two-game slate to dive into for Saturday, August 9th. So we're going to break down and analyze each of those two games. I'm going to talk about which way that I'm leaning as far as the points of the spread. And then when it's all said and done, make sure you check down there into that pinned comment. You'll find a link down there that's going to send you over to the Guy Boston Sports website. That's where you're going to find all of my final plays for these games listed for free. Now, before we dive into these games, let's go ahead and jump right over there to the website. We need to take a look back at Thursday and Friday's plays. Let's see what we took then and how that ended up going down. We had a pretty good day on Thursday, man. We go 3-1 on the day. We took the dream and the team total over 82.5, and that was a cash. It was sweaty. I think they only had 28 points in the first half, but they turned it up in the second. Nas Hillman over 11.5 points. She just had a really, really bad shooting night, and we do not cash on that one. But we took Derek Hamby over 14.5 points. That one was a cash. And then we took the Mercury laying 2.5. We could have took the Mercury laying 1,000,000 because they crushed the Fever in that one. So 3-1 on the day on Thursday. But that's kind of where the good news stops, man. On Friday, we kind of give it back, right? Whatever we made on Thursday, we just handed it right back to Vegas on Friday because we go 2-4. Took the Wings in the first half plus 6.5. They go into the half down double digits. Rike Gumbawale over 3.5 assists. She does not get there. Courtney Williams over 10.5 rebounds and assists. She don't get there either. And we took the Mystics and the Lynx, a total under 161.5. That was a cash. We took Alana Smith under 6.5 rebounds. That was a cash. And we took the Storm plus 2.5, and they lose by 4. So we don't hit on that one either. So 2-4 on Friday after that 3-1 day on Thursday. So it's one of them classic scenarios where we didn't really lose any money, but we didn't really make any money either. Like I said, everything we got on Thursday, we just gave it right back. So let's see what we can get back from Vegas today here on Saturday. Let's go ahead and see if we can find some value on the board, guys. Smash that like button down there for me if you can, and hit subscribe if you have not already. Let's go ahead and jump into this first game, man. It's going to be at 8 p.m. tip-off time. It's going to be the Chicago Sky taking on the Indiana Fever. Fever are 11.5-point favorites in this one now. Total sitting at 163.5. That total is coming down from that 166 that it opened up at. Now, there are a lot of injuries involved in this game on both sides. Sydney Colson is now out for the year. Ari McDonald out for the year as well for the Fever. Those are both new additions. And then the Chicago Sky just have a litany of players on that injury report. We'll get into that a little bit, though. It's going to be the fourth matchup between these two this season. It's going to be the second straight with no Reese for Chicago, no Clark for Indiana. So those are the two big names, right? The Fever, regardless of if those two have been in or out, though, have absolutely dominated this head-to-head matchup this season with the Sky. They've won the first 3 contests so far, all by double digits and by an average of 25 points per game. Chicago is coming in off of a 21-point loss to the Dream. They've lost 9 of their last 10 now. They sit at 8-22 on the year, 13-17 against the spread. They're 3-11 on the road, but 8-6 to the number. The Fever have lost 2 straight, but they are back home here for the first of 3 in a row. They're 17-14 on the year. They're 16-15 against the spread, and at home, they've gone 9-6, both straight up and to the number. They've won and covered in 4 straight at home now, and over their last 5 home games, they're shooting 51% from the field and just under 46% from deep. That's good for 107 points per game, the most of any team over their last 5 games at home. They're sitting at 3rd for offensive rating, but just 10th for defensive rating in those 5. And then looking at Chicago in their last 5 road games, they're 6th for offensive rating, but dead last for defensive rating. Chicago is middle of the pack, sitting at 7th for overall shooting percentage from the field and from deep. They're good for 86 points per game as well in those games. So Chicago is giving up the most points off of turnovers over their last 5 road games, though, while the Fever are scoring the most such points in their last 5 at home. And Indiana did win that turnover battle 20-11 in their last match. They dished out 9 more assists in the process as well over Chicago. So I like the Fever at home in this one here again. 11.5 points is a lot to lay. But I wouldn't want to get there with Chicago in this, man. The proof is in the pudding so far in the numbers. So I'm not sure I get there on the side because, like I said, that is a lot to lay with the Fever, with these new injuries as well to the backcourt. I'm not sure how their rotation is going to look. So kind of want to see that, wait it out, and feel that out before we, start laying double digits with the Fever here. But yeah, like I said, no way we can get there with Chicago, man. And Chicago has been playing decent basketball lately. It's like they played better. You look at them throughout the statistics, you start looking at team rankings and everything over the last 5 games, and like they kind of evenly match up with Indiana as well. So that's kind of makes me a little leery here. Also, it's not like they're playing horrible basketball; they just can't get it done for a full 40 minutes. You know what I mean? So yeah, they could keep this one close and land right inside of there and get that backdoor cover, or they to lose by 30 in this one. So Yeah, just one on the side that I would wanna stay away from personally, but definitely a lean towards the Fever. A lot of rambling to get there on that one, sorry about that. Looking at the total, 2 of the 3 head-to-heads have hit to the under, but the over did hit in their last meeting in late July. That one was played without Reese or Clark, that was that game there. 3 of the Indiana's last 4 have hit to the under, while the Sky have hit to the under in 4 straight. The Fever are playing at the fastest pace in the W over their last 5, but the Sky are sitting at 3rd from last when it comes to pace. They're only scoring 72 points per game in their last 5 and just 63 points on average in the 3 prior head-to-head matchups between these 2, so I'm gonna be leaning towards an under looking at this game here, especially with all those injuries. Like I said, guys, now obviously no Caitlin Clark for Indiana, but then like I said, Sydney Colson out for the year now. Ari McDonald out as well. Chicago Sky have been down Courtney Vandersloot, since the beginning of the season. Angel Reese is out. Michaela Onyenway, Ariel Atkins, Haley Van Lith, they're all listed as game time decisions as well. So just hard to tell who's gonna be in and out of these lineups, and, with the question marks on the rotation, man, it just seems like a very it just seems like a safer play to be looking at the under here in this one. And the second game on the night is gonna be the Los Angeles Sparks taking on the Golden State Valkyries, and the Sparks are up to 4.5 point favorites. That's up from the 1.5 that it opened up at. That total sitting at 165.5. That's up a point as well. It's the 8:30 PM tip-off time for this one here. The Sparks are gonna be on the road and at a one-day rest disadvantage in this one, but they come in off of 3 straight wins. They've won 8 of the last 9 now. They're sitting at 14 and 15 on the year. That is tied for the 8th and final playoff spot with none other than the Golden State Valkyries. Now, LA is 9 and 6 straight up on the road. They are 10 and 4 and 1 to the number in those road games. And much like the Sparks have been a much better team on the road than at home this year, the Valkyries, they've been a much better team at home than playing on the road. They sit at 8 and 5 straight up, 9 and 4 against the spread when at home, 14 and 15 on the year, 17 and 12 against the spread. Now, this is the 4th head-to-head between these 2, and after the Sparks won the first match on the road, Golden State took the next 2 meetings, both of those being in LA. The Valkyries have lost back-to-back games to the Aces coming into this one, though, after winning 3 straight and 4 of their last 5 prior to that, but then the injury bug started hitting them. Looking at each of these teams in their last 5, Golden State, they come into this one sitting at 8th across the board for defensive, offensive, and net rating. The Sparks, they sit at dead last for defensive rating, but they are 3rd for offensive rating. They are 5th for net rating. Golden State has been solid on the year defensively, but they are giving up the 3rd most three-pointers per game. They're, only sitting at 8th for fast break points allowed. They're also allowing the 3rd most second chance points. The Sparks on their end, man, they've just been absolutely on fire, on all 3 levels offensively. They're gonna be able to take advantage of, any kind of flaw that Golden State exposes on the defensive end, man. The Sparks are averaging 97 points per game on just under 50% shooting from the field, 36% shooting from deep over their last 5 games. And you look at those prior head-to-heads, man, LA was battling through injuries in those prior 2 losses to Golden State, coming into this game here. The Valkyries were at full strength themselves, but now they come into this one, without leading scorer Kayla Thornton. Monique Billings is out again as well. LA on the other side, they're fully healthy now. No injuries to report on their end. So this feels pretty straightforward to me. I'm surprised that this one opened up as close as it was, a 1.5 point line there in favor of the Sparks. I'm surprised it was that close, man. The money line was sitting close to, even money there for a minute. So kinda had it opened up as a pick 'em. Very surprised by that because like I said, it looks pretty straightforward, man. I took the Sparks on the money line. I took it early, got it at -109. You can see it's pretty juiced now, sitting at -160, I think it's the best I've seen it right now, so I still don't mind looking at them on the spread. But the more that number gets higher and higher, man, we're sitting at like 4.5 now. We get up to 5.5, I'd probably just stay away. That's about as far as I'd want to go with it personally, man. Like LA is the better team for sure. And I think they roll here, but Golden State has proven to be a tough team at home. So I would still be cautious laying a ton of points with the Sparks here against Golden State on Golden State's home court. But yeah, end of the day, I think that they get the dub here. For the total, I know the Valkyries are an under team, man, but the Sparks are an over team for sure. 20 of their 29 games have hit over, including 9 of their last 10. 19 of the Valkyries' 29 have hit under, including 4 of their last 5. They hit over in their last head-to-head with 2 unders before that. So it's one of those classic something's got to give spots, man. But this Sparks offense is just rolling right now, man. Too much so for me to look to an under, even with Golden State team involved in this game here. The Sparks play with so much pace, and they kind of force you to get out and run. I don't think Golden State I don't think that they're an offensive juggernaut by any means. I think that they're going to struggle to help us get to this total. But like I said, man, it's hard to look any way but a over when you have the Sparks out there as well. They've scored under 90 just once in their last 9 games, and the Valkyries' poor perimeter defense has to be a concern here against the Sparks. So, their litany of outside shooters that they have over there on LA side. So I'm going to lean over here. Maybe it's something that we just look at the Sparks and isolate it to a team total over, but those have been chilling in the 90s lately. And like I said, man, obviously for a reason they've been crushing these numbers, right? And hitting above 90 consistently. And what, like I just said, 8 of their last 9 games. But even still, man, taking a team total that high is just like that's like the opposite of taking an under when it's been chilling in the low 150s, you know what I mean? It's just such a sweat. So I'm not sure that I really want to go that route, but yeah, not sure what to do with the total here because like I said, you got two teams on two totally different opposite ends of the spectrum. You got the Sparks wanting to come out here and score 200 while the Valkyries play at one of the slowest pace in the W. So ultimately, I think the Sparks control and dictate the pace of this game. Whether the Valkyries can hit enough shots to help get us up and over that total is the question for me. So 165.5 though, it does still feel pretty low for the Sparks. We can see them hit up into the 90s, and then we just need the Valkyries to get into the 70s, and then we're going to be close to that number as well. So leaning over, not sure that I can get there, guys. I looked over the player props briefly. I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't like deep dive into them. My initial looks, I don't see anything that I really, really like. I will dig into it a little bit more just to make sure I'm not missing anything. I typically do that, and then I typically end up finding one or two that I like, and I'm rolling with them. But yeah, I'm just not seeing anything right off the rip. So keep an eye down there in that pinned comment. Make sure you check that out. We might end up adding some plays in as the day goes on. I just want to let you guys know, from now pretty much throughout the rest of this regular season. It's going to take us through October into the early stages of September. But man, I've got so much stuff planned pretty much every weekend with the family, with my kids, and then with siblings as well on other weekends. So just a lot going on. Um, super, super busy. So these weekend videos are probably going to be coming out in the morning like this. And I might have to do a couple of them where we, kind of just have it shortened to my favorite plays, just depending on how things go timing wise. Because at the end of the day, guys, I got to prioritize family and get some time in with them as well. Been really, really busy between work and full time, obviously, and then doing the YouTube as well, amongst everything else that life throws at you. So yeah, just bear with me, guys. I'm going to keep getting the content out to you guys. Videos just might look a little different from time to time. Kind of similar to when Ev is traveling. If you watch Ev's videos, which if you're on Guy Boston Sports Channel and you're not watching Ev's videos, then you're out of your mind. So make sure you go check him out. But yeah, when Ev's traveling and he just kind of condenses it down to his favorite plays, might be what I do on a few of these videos here on the weekends, mainly just probably on Sundays when they got those 5-game slates and I've been out all weekend doing stuff with the family and haven't had a ton of time to dive into each and every one of those 5 games because the last thing I want to do is get on here and just, start spewing out a bunch of BS that I didn't actually research, you know what I mean? So yeah, a lot of rambling there to let you guys know kind of what we are looking at for the rest of this month here. With that said, 90% of these videos are going to look the same as they've looked all season long, but just kind of wanted to give you a heads up for those 10% that might be just a little bit different. But that is going to do it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you found the content helpful and useful. And if you did, please do not forget to smash that like button on your way out. Smash that like button, guys. Hit subscribe if you have not already. And that's going to do it, man. Hope you guys all have a great night. Hope you guys all cash out. And I'll see you back tomorrow for the next one.